to be showing you how to do some of the contact receivers in VRChat. This is going to take some basic knowledge of Unity. So what I have here is my VRChat model that I use a lot on VRChat. I set a lot of receivers on it, and I have a system on it that I think was really cool that I set up with the receivers itself that take up no parameter space. But as of right now, the parameter space has been doubled, so it shouldn't be a problem anyway. So let's just start with the basics. Let's get this out of the way so I don't waste any time. So what you would want to do to put on a basic receiver is just go to the inside of your armature and put it wherever you want or wherever you need it. So if you want to say put it on your right hand here, you move it into your armature and just go to your hand, hit add component, then add the VRC contact receiver. Add it. You need to add a contact tag. What this is that this tag will tell you, the game, what contact or collision part will come into contact with this receiver. So you just want to hit add, open up the drop down menu, all these body parts, and so say you want set up a high five, for example. You want to hit hand for both hands, hand L for only left hands, and hand R for only right hands. So what we're going to do, I already have a receiver set up for high-fiving and stuff, so I'm just going to head and remove this component, and we're going to go to the component I have. So for this one, this component, as you can see, I have the both hands collision tag, hand left, hand right, and the head, because I kind of want to slap people as well. And what I did to stop it from coming into contact with myself is that in the filtering section here, I turned off allow self, so that means yourself will not be able to interact with it. Allow others allows other people to interact with it. Local only limits this contact to only work on the local client. What this is for is stated down here. The VRC expression parameters object is the parameters object that you would use to set up basic toggles. The contact receiver parameters, you do not need that. So to set this up, you want to go into the parameter, type in the parameter name. It must be the exact same as the parameter you put in your FX animator, and it is case sensitive. Alright, now that we have that all set up, we can go into our animator. So first you want to go into your parameters tab here, add, say, a bool, and then name it the exact same as the parameter that name as you set on the receiver. Then go and create a new layer. You can name it whatever you want, that doesn't matter. Make sure you change the weight to 1. Create an empty state. Drag and drop the animation for the parameter or the receiver toggle that you want. Create a transition from new state to your animation and put in the condition of the parameter name. So it would be, for me, it would be clap, and have that to true, and it'll toggle on this animation. Then create another transition back from the animation to the blank state, and then just can change the conditions to false. It is my recommendation that you untick has exit time and change the transition duration to 0 if you want the animation to instantly play. Now, if you don't want this to constantly be running, we will be needing to use the parameter object, the VRC expression parameters object. So what you would want to do is hit add, create a bool, make it a bool, and then you can go back into here, go into your parameters tab, create a new bool, and name it the exact same as you named it in your VRC parameters object. Remember, it is case sensitive. So what you want to do is go back into here, go into the transition state, add a new condition, and change it to the parameter you just created. And now for the toggle itself on your menu, you want to go into your VRC expressions menu. You can go into any of these menus that you want, hit add control. You can change the name to anything you want. Remember to change the type from button to toggle, and then change the parameter to the bool you just made. So now that whenever it is toggled on, and if it is on, it will initiate the animation that you want, and if it's off, it will not play the animation. So that's how you create a simple receiver animation. So let's go into something more complex. I have a little system on this bag here that allows me to pull out 2 different types of glasses and some arm warmers, and then bring them up to my face and put them on. Let's see how I did that. So for my bag, this is just a bag that I pulled off of Sketchfab. I added a VRC contact receiver. I unchecked allow others, so only I, and made sure allow self is checked, so only I can interact with this. I changed it to, I added a collision tag to hand L for my left hand because it's on my left side. My right hand can't really reach it as well, and I want all the glasses and stuff appear on my left hand anyway. I added the parameter name to bag and the receiver's type to constant so that it's constantly checking if my left hand is inside this receiver ball. And for my head, I added a receiver for putting on the glasses. So for my glasses, I set it towards only myself can activate it, my left hand because the glasses are on my left hand, and I named the parameter to glasses. This is, and in the skull is where I put on my glasses and aviators that I added. You want to put these here for the wearing them animation. And now for the holding your hand animation, you want to make an animation of you holding it in your left hand. So let's go into our left hand and see that both my normal glasses and my aviators are there, and my arm warmers as well. So to make an animation, I usually duplicate my model, disable the original, go into animation, create, and say boobity-da-ba-di-ba-da-ba, doesn't matter. Just remember what animation is which. So I would consider naming it something meaningful so you don't lose track of it. So what you want to do for creating it, the holding in your hand animation, is just go into your armature and then go into the hand that you put your object that you want to toggle on into, hit the record button on the bottom left there, and then toggle them on. And boom, stop recording, and boom, you created the animation. Now you can delete that model and go back and make sure you repeat that process for every single animation. You don't have to delete the model every time, but you just have to remember to create a separate animation for each object. So now let's go into our animator and let's go into the glasses. I know this kind of looks intimidating, but this is actually very simple. It'll go from the empty state, and in the transition from the first pair of glasses you want, You want to have it towards where the bag will equal true. Your left hand gesture equals 1. The number 1 value for gesture left is closed. You grab, like you're holding a fist, which makes sense. And then since I have multiple using the same hand, I also made the gesture right equal 3, which the value 3 for gesture right is point forward, so it'll be holding the number 1 on my right hand and grabbing with my left hand. And that, when all those conditions are met, it'll play the hold glasses. So now I want to bring up the hand to my head and put the glasses on. So what I do is I bring the transition from hold glasses to wearing the glasses is that when your hand enters the glasses receiver, the glasses will turn true. And make sure the gesture left does not equal 1. These are the conditions you want. And now from grabbing the glasses off your face, you want to make sure the gesture left equals 1, which is the grab, and the glasses equals true again, because you want your hand in that receiver like you're grabbing it. And then to put it away, you're going to have the transition from hold glasses to the exit be bag equals true, and your left gesture does not equal 1, so you're basically letting it go. And then you repeat that process for the other glasses, but make sure the gesture right equals a different hand gesture that you want, so you don't pull out the same glasses. And there is another type of VRC contact receiver that is based on enter type. What you want to do is add a VRC contact receiver on the spot you want to add the receiver to. And then what you want to do is make it towards where you can, if you want, you can have it interact with yourself, allow others to interact with it, and make sure you add that collision tag. Now, the biggest change about this is the receiver type. You want to change the receiver type to OnEnter. So OnEnter means if the collision tag enters it at the minimum velocity, the animation will play. So you set the parameter to what you want. Make sure it's all the same for the parameters. Remember, it is case sensitive. And then the minimum velocity for this 3, you have to be pretty quick. Like, you actually have to swing your hand in order for the animation to play. So it is very drastic. And there is another type of receiver called the proximity receiver. In this one, you want to change the receiver type to proximity. What this does is that it sets a value between 0 to 1, representing how close a contact is to the receiver's center. If multiple receivers are detected, it will give you the closest value to the center of any one of those. So I use this for cocking the gun. As you can see, if I put my hand here and then slide it here, it'll play the animation of the gun cocking until it's completely in the middle, where the animation will finish. So yeah, that's pretty much the tutorial on how to do that. The VRC receivers, and remember, all the VRC receiver and toggles, all that stuff, the only limitation is what you can animate in the animator tool itself. So you can say, oh, if I put my hand in a certain spot on my body where the receiver is, and I do a gesture with my left hand and a gesture with my right hand, I can say material swap, pull out a gun, pull out a piece of article of clothing, play an animation. So the animator tool is pretty much your limit, but it is a very, very big limit. You can do so much with the animator tool.